Let's do it.
Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. I'm Brandon. With me again is Ryan. Ryan, other than your lack of sleep, how are things going?
Yeah, I'm already at 41 and a half hours clocked for this week of work, so I'm just ready for the weekend.
Sounds about right. So before we get going, we actually already have a question on Twitch.
Heck yeah, we do. What's up? Picaro?
Yep.
Picar Zero? Picaro?
Probably go Picaro.
Picaro? I don't know. Anyway, Picaro asks, is Skyline chili properly rated, overrated, or underrated? What's your take on this? The old Skyline, the Cincinnati's love.
I'm going to go with properly rated. I usually try to have it at least once a week, so I really do love Skyline.
Everybody loves Skyline, but we only eat it once a week. No, I would say it is properly rated. I think it's really a Cincinnati thing, you know, Southeast Indiana, Northern Kentucky, Southwest Ohio kind of thing.
I believe there are some in Florida too.
There might be, but man, I tell you what, you ask people about it that aren't from around here, and they'll ask you about it, and it's really hard to explain. Besides, it's chili spaghetti. What do you want me to say about it? It's chili spaghetti. And it's awesome. It's great. It's better than Gold Star, I can tell you
Definitely.
that. So I would say properly rated. It's I wouldn't even say it's an acquired taste. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I think everybody can agree that Skyline is better than Gold Star.
I agree there.
All right, let's get into it, man.
All right, well, before we get going, I did just get a notification. DeAndre Hopkins is officially active today.
That's good news. That's good news for Kyler Murray owners for sure.
Managers.
God, if that offends people, I'm sorry. I just never really registered in my brain that could be deemed a negative term for fantasy football. So I apologize. It's been brought to my attention that that's not the best way to say that. So if you have stock in Kyler Murray, it's better that Hopkins is on the field tonight, so there we go.
Definitely, he could be shadowed by Jair Alexander today, though. He is back, so it could mean bigger games for Green, Kirk, and Moore.
I would say probably Ertz is probably number 2 now.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So we'll move on from there. ESPN Pickem results for last week, week 7.
Man, it was brutal. It was brutal. The coin.
The coin went 12 and 1.
12 and 1. Nobody else got. It's a coin flip, man. It's heads or tails. Heads is home, tails is away, and I can't believe the coin went 12 and 1.
Yeah, that was just crazy. Other than that, Ryan and I, we both went 9 and 4. That brings Ryan's record up to 77 and 30, and mine up to 67 and 40.
Man, dude, I think I have a 4-game lead over everybody.
Yeah, you do have a lead over everybody. I can't remember by how much.
It's 4.
Our DFS Week 7 results, Ryan gets back on the winning track.
Hey.
He won 133.14 to 124.96. Congratulations. I think it was MCAT who ended up winning this week.
Probably. Again, whoever MCAT is, man, he or she is just wrecking our little league thing that we have.
Yeah. I will say I am doing our leagues a little bit different than I am doing like not cashing in lives, GPPs or tournament plays.
I still don't know the difference, so I just try to do high ceilings all the way through.
Yeah, I'm trying to just put together a team that they have these high floors, maybe not the high ceiling part, just enough where I can compete weekly with you and hopefully get to win more often than not.
That's fair.
If you want to play against us on there, I will put it on the link. Probably on Saturday. I'll put it on our social medias when I post our rosters. It is free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to deposit anything in the DraftKings. You can just click on that link, join, and play against us.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something, man. I did one tonight for the Captain's Showdown tonight, and I think I got a pretty good team going.
You always feel that with your showdowns.
Yeah, but look who I could afford. I have Kyler Murray as my captain, Randall Cobb for $3,600. AJ Dillon, Zach Ertz, Aaron Jones, and Aaron Rodgers. Like, I feel like that's a really solid captain showdown for tonight.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I mean, Devontae Adams and Lazard being out really helps with the money side on the Packers.
Yeah, it was cheap. So I gotta have both QBs, man.
Yep. All right, so our first game. I don't have a lot of notes on this game, but we'll start with we're not going to review the Packers Cardinals since this podcast, when we do get it recorded, probably won't be out in time.
Yeah, but I'm saying cards.
Yeah, I agree, but I do feel like this is just kind of the game where Rodgers can step up and win this. Well,
yeah, I mean that's every game. I mean,
this is a game where I feel like he does it just because, despite everybody.
Yeah, and absolutely, it could be. It's definitely possible. I mean, besides Week 1, man, the Packers are 6-0 coming into this game after that first loss. But man, it could happen, man. This Packers team's good. And with the Cardinals without J.J. Watt, it's kind of where's the pass rush going to come from? So we'll see, man. I think it'll be a good game. I just think Arizona's going to have a little more weapons available at their disposal tonight.
Poor J.J. Watt. He cannot stay healthy for a year anymore. He started off great for his first 5 years.
It's that old age. Trust me, I get it. I get up from sitting on the pot too fast and I pull a muscle in my back. Like, oh! There we go. We're out for a week.
So we'll go ahead and move on to the Panthers at Falcons. Falcons are currently 3-point favorites as of last night. I don't think there's really a lot to say here. This could be a game where Sam Darnold starts to get back on track.
Maybe, but I still think he's seeing ghosts, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's definitely struggling, and it could be that we were just too early on this. Sam Darnold's correcting himself. As for the other side of the ball, I mean, Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, they're going to have their games. But did you notice Cordero Patterson? He only had, I think, 2 receptions last game.
He got more of the rushing load, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I still think the Falcons win this game, though. I'm just going to go straight up and say the Falcons, Sam Darnold seeing ghost or the boogeyman out there again. I don't know what he's doing, but we got another question in here, and I'm going to stick with
let's finish this
Falcons.
real quick.
Yeah, we'll stick with it. I'm going Falcons.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, I think
the Dirty Birds.
Russell Gage being back, I think that's probably what's hurting Cordero Patterson's receiving targets.
Oh, well, yeah, and Ridley's back. I mean, he had such a great game against the football team over in London. That's when he had his big day. But
I think still Cordero Patterson's been good enough that you're going to continue starting him. Mm-hmm. All right, you want to go ahead and read this?
This is a 12-team league, man. We got Squid's Giant Chode. I appreciate that name, man, because I'm Gargantuan Gonad because the character is just too long in sleeper app. Can't add the gonads. Anyway, he says, "What's up, gents? I made a blockbuster trade yesterday. In a gist of it, he traded away Joe Mixon, Chris Godwin, and Jerry Jeudy for Alvin Kamara and Kenny Golladay. He now has a core of Kyler Murray, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Terry McLaurin, Aaron Jones. Who would that Jones be?
Could be Julio, could be Aaron, could be Mac.
I don't know. Is it a 12-team league?
Yeah, he says 12-teamer.
Well, 12-team, but I mean Superflex, sorry. I mean, still, in a 12-team league...
I don't know that I would have made that trade. I think Judy, he's going to be too good in Galladay's.
Well, we don't know if it's a dynasty or not, but, I mean, you're getting, I think, Kamara. Galladay, we'll see what he does. I mean, that's a prayer right there, but, hey, I don't care. Marvin Jones, okay.
Forgot about Marv. I mean, it's not a bad trade.
No.
But I think I prefer the Mixon side of that, personally.
Look, in a 12-team trade, you got to look at it, man. He's got Kyler Murray as quarterback. He's got Ezekiel Elliott and Kamara. He's already got McLaurin and Marvin Jones. Yeah, you might be a little weak at wide receiver, but those three...
Well, that's the thing. Mixon's been playing really well. And he downgraded a wide receiver. That's why I personally don't like it.
I personally love it. I mean I went number 1-1 in a redraft league with Alvin Kamara as the first overall pick. I think you're definitely getting. I think you got the high end of that deal.
I don't know because Godwin and Judy's back this week, and I think he could be a difference maker. Godwin's going to be good, especially this week.
Well, I mean, just 1 week. He's hit or miss, really. I mean, there's so many weapons in Tampa Bay. I can see it. When Kenny Golladay, if he comes back healthy,
he could potentially be.
His only competition in that wide receiver room is Khalif Raymond.
Are you sure about that?
Or in the Giants room? Sorry.
Kadarius Toney?
I was thinking Tyrell Williams.
No, Galladay's going to have a role, but I don't know how much of a role. I don't know. I just feel like him and Daniel Jones do not mesh well together.
And that's fine. I still think, hey, man, that core, you have a great core.
I mean, you've upgraded to Kamara. So, like I said, it's not a terrible trade. I just prefer the other side of it.
I would have made it in a heartbeat. All
right, so I don't know if I said, but I will take the Falcons as well in the Panthers-Falcons game.
This next game is going to be fun to watch. That's why I'm not going to.
Yep, the next game we have is Dolphins at the Bills. The Bills are currently 13.5-point favorites. Devontae Parker, he was limited yesterday. I haven't seen the report today. I've been kind of busy.
Alexander's out again tonight for the Packers.
Jair Alexander?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that just makes it a much better matchup for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Bateman? Okay, yeah, if you have Bateman, yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Bateman's getting the targets. You'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be good, dude. You'll be straight.
But Devontae Parker, shoulder and hamstring injury. He was limited Wednesday, which I think is a progress from the report last week, because on Wednesday last week he didn't practice.
Right.
Malcolm Brown, I just bring this up because it just gives a little bit more to Salvin Ahmed and Myles Gaskin. Brown was placed on the IR. Knox for the Bills, the tight end, he's already been ruled out for Sunday, but he hasn't actually been placed on the IR, so that's promising.
He threw a 2-point conversion pass with a broken hand to Josh Allen, I think it was. No, whoever he threw it to. Was it Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
did you see Allen on the field? He's like, no, we don't want to run this play.
Yeah, but I mean, it worked out. He'll be back before you know it. Just hold on to him. Dick Sanders Beasley. Yeah, I mean, this Dolphins defense is poor.
Yeah. So
poor.
So our next thing we wanted to kind of go over is the wide receiver cornerback matchup. Diggs, Sanders. I know. Yeah.
I like it. That's
Diggs, Sanders, and Beasley. They have good matchups this week.
Yeah.
Xavier Howard was at one point, I think it was, or was it Howard or Rhodes? I can't remember. One of the two were one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the league. And
I thought it was Xavier Rhodes.
That might be it. I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Now. But the Dolphins have actually allowed the third most fantasy points to receivers.
Yeah, I mean.
So I think what I'm saying in here, you're starting all three receivers. You're starting Allen. And then I'd probably make the argument, because Miami's so bad against the run.
Sorry, I have a trade proposal coming in.
You could possibly start both Moss and Singletary this week.
Ooh.
As for the Dolphins side, the Dolphins receivers have a terrible matchup. The Bills have actually allowed the second fewest points to receivers. So, I mean, if you have Waddle, you may not have better options. But if you do, you're starting them over Waddle. But I think Gesicki's still a good play here.
Why would I want that? I don't need a QB. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2022 second for Tyler Higbee. I'm sorry, but if you're watching, man, come on, man. I have Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, and Mac Jones. I don't need another QB.
This is a 1 QB dynasty league.
Yeah, I don't need it.
All right, so Ryan, I asked thinking I already know the answer. Who is your pick for the Dolphins at the Bills?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the Bills.
I think going with the Bills as well. All right, so our next game, we had the 49ers at the Bears. The 49ers are currently, or as of last night, were 4-point favorites. But, hey, Matt Nagy might be out for this game.
Good. We'll see what Justin Fields can do. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We could see what goes on there.
Look,
I still don't think this offense is any good. And have you heard Allen Robinson has been kind of speculated on some trade talk?
Well, he needs to get out of there. He needs to change
yeah.
scenery. His talents have been wasted. He needs to take him down to South Beach.
I mean, he was already in Jacksonville at one point.
That's not
Miami.
That's Northern Florida, dude.
I was going to say, I know that's not Miami, but he was still already down for it at one point.
Come on, that's not South Beach. There's a huge difference.
I know where you're going with that, but I just wanted to say he was already down in Florida at one point. Kittle, he's not coming back this week, but Shanahan has said that he's expected to return to practice next week and could play week 9. Trey Lance, he was limited yesterday. The surprise one, though, Deebo Samuel, he didn't practice yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, so...
he'll be fine.
I mean, if he doesn't play, and I know a lot of people have been frustrated with him because he hasn't done much, including kicking a ball into the end zone last week. You
mean Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk could be a solid play. Last week when Deebo was out, or last year, Ayuk went nuts. Yeah. And without Deebo, without Kittle, who else you got there?
I mean, that's a good point, but I don't know, man. I just think these two teams I can't figure out. I can't figure out either one of them. I mean, remember at one point the 49ers were 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're 2-4.
I will say I think the only player on the Bears that I'm looking to start is maybe Khalil Herbert. The 49ers can be beat on the ground. He's had 2 good games, including one against the Bucs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they didn't really.
Yep, but
I don't know, but
actually, I like both running backs in this game, Elijah Mitchell and Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, I think it's a solid and fair matchup for both of them. So if you have them, man, throw them in there. Why not?
All right, and so Ryan, who's your pick on this game?
Actually, I think I'm going to shock the world with this. I'm going to go with the Bears just because I think the 49ers just don't have an identity. And Chicago has played pretty solidly at home this year. I mean, they beat the Bengals at home, and I know they lost to the Packers, but they've defended their Soldier Field pretty well. So I'm going to go with the Bears.
I am going to I am going to go with the 49ers on this one.
All right.
So
this is one of those games where when I was doing my 14-game parlay or whatever, there's only 2 teams on a bye, so 15-game parlay. I was like, I don't know. So I did one each with the 49ers winning one and the Bears winning the other.
All right, so our next game, we had the Steelers at the Browns. The Browns, they're 3.5-point favorites as of last night. Mm-hmm. Do you know Claypool's actually been very good against the Browns so far this year? Or not this year, but so far in his career.
Isn't this his second year?
Well, still.
So that's 2 games against
I think that might be 3.
Well, I guess in the playoffs, you could count the playoffs.
Yeah, he's actually done really well against them.
Oh, man. Those people.
A podcast I was listening to.
Yeah.
They called him Claypool or Chase Cleveland. Kind of like with T.Y. Houston, Chase. But he could be a good play. Keep an eye out for him, though. He was limited Wednesday with a hamstring injury. As for the other side, I mean, you're starting Najee in this. You're starting Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Pat Freiermuth, if you're desperate, he might be someone to keep an eye on. But I don't know if I'd actually play him. I've seen him on my waiver wire, but I haven't had the guts to pick him up yet in a redraft league. As for the Browns, Odell Beckham Jr. was limited Wednesday with a shoulder injury. Good news for Nick Chubb managers. He was limited Wednesday.
That's good news.
Definitely. Baker Mayfield was limited, and he actually took majority of the first team snaps.
Really?
Yep. So, I mean, if you're a Browns fan, if you're a Mayfield manager, that's definitely promising news for you.
Shareholder? Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm trade talk in a 1 QB dynasty league, and don't really need a 4th QB, which would make it Ryan Fitzpatrick, but sorry, guys.
And then Jarvis Landry, he didn't practice yesterday. This was a knee injury unrelated to his previous MCL injury.
Wasn't this on the other knee?
It might have been. I'm not sure on that one.
I thought they said it was the other knee, but I could be wrong.
But he has come out and said he is playing Sunday.
Good. Because that solidifies my pick.
The Browns?
The Browns. It doesn't really work.
The dog pound.
The dog pound.
I am going with the Browns as well. They're my preseason pick to win the AFC North.
Poop emoji, poop emoji, poop emoji.
I don't think the Browns win the AFC North as of right now, but I still think they're a good team and they definitely have a good shot at the wild card.
Who do you think's gonna win it? The AFC North. Don't you steal my Cinderella pick?
My heart says the Bengals.
Don't steal my Cinderella pick.
But
did you know that if the playoffs started today,
the
Bengals would be the number 1 seed
in the AFC? Yep. My heart says the Bengals, but after years of emotional abuse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to say it right now, so I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Yeah, at some point, we're at the peak of the roller coaster, or we're getting closer and closer to the peak. It just, when is it gonna drop off if it does? And that's scary. Because as a Bengals fan, we always expect the worst. But I'm going Browns here against the Steelers.
All right, so we got our next game: the Eagles at the Lions. The Eagles were 3.5-point favorites here.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Devontae Smith, he didn't practice yesterday with the headache issue. Before anybody that's like, why aren't you practicing? Do you just have a headache?
It's a concussion.
That could be a symptom, but I don't think in this case. Headaches, though, depending on the severity, they can be really bad. I know I have points. Like, if I get a bad enough headache that turns into a migraine,
right?
I have to go into no sound, no light, and just go to sleep to get rid of it.
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody not to practice with a headache, especially in football or a contact thing. It opens up the doors to a lot of potential injuries.
I did that once in middle school. Went through a whole practice with a migraine.
Yeah, it's awful, man.
That was the worst thing I've done.
I wouldn't do it.
Miles Sanders didn't practice yesterday with an ankle injury. I'm pretty sure he's out this week.
Probably.
Hawkinson, ankle knee issue. He was limited yesterday, but he's been.
Just let me say this. Hawkinson and Swift have been basically non-participants in practice, or very little participants in practice for, limited, whatever you want to call it, for for most of the season. It's just to keep these dudes healthy. You don't really have to worry about them not suiting up and playing on Sunday, but they'll be good to go. Don't worry.
The Eagles, they're one of the worst defenses when it comes to guarding the tight end. Awesome. So Hawkinson was going to be in your lineup anyways.
Right, but hopefully it's a big week.
Hopefully it's a big week for him.
Hopefully.
I mean, I'm still starting Swift. Yes. Khalif Raymond looks like he's the number 1 receiver on this team as of right now.
I have to play him in my Dynasty League.
Yeah, I mean, if you're desperate, you can play him, but I don't foresee you absolutely needing him in a redraft.
He helped me beat you.
In a Dynasty League.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't foresee you having to play him in a redraft right now. I want to see it another week or two before.
Well, if I would have played him in the last 3 weeks in the redraft league, he would have...
2 of the last 3.
No, 3 of the last 3. So I would have been the highest scorer in the league.
One of those 3 weeks, I thought he put up a goose egg.
No, he had 22.5, and then I think 12 something or other, and then another 20 something.
What is it with that? What is it with that league that I've seen them making? They start talking whenever we start recording.
I don't know. Just shut up. I told them I don't need another QB, especially Ryan Fitzpatrick. Sorry, guys. I have Stafford as my QB1, Rodgers as my QB2.
Yeah. As for the Eagles, if you have Hurts on your roster,
sell him.
Sell him if you can, definitely.
Sell him.
But I would start looking at getting another QB somewhere. Mm-hmm. There has been talks that they could be trying out Gardner Minshew soon.
I mean, dude, you might as well.
I mean, Hurts, we've said it. He's a better fantasy option than he is
an actual QB.
An NFL option.
I think this is the week, man.
For Hurts?
No, for
for Lions?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that means you are picking the Lions?
My heart is telling me the Lions. The last time my heart told me to go with the Jaguars to beat the Dolphins, I went with the Dolphins.
3 weeks ago, Khalif Raymond only had 1.4 fantasy points.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking something else.
So it was 3 of the last 4.
I'm about to start my run right now. No, you're not. Anyway, I'm going to go with my gut here, and just something tells me the Lions are going to pull this one out. They've been playing people. I've said it week after week after week after week after week.
Except when they played the Bengals.
Yeah, they've been. They've been playing people tough, and they've been playing people close. I just think that this young Eagles team might be the one to self-implode and help the Lions get their first victory on the season. I'm going Lions.
You know, I can't wait to see what Devontae Smith looks like with a better QB.
Yeah. Is Gardner Minshew a better QB?
I think he's a better passing QB than Hurts, definitely.
Oh, certainly, yes.
Honestly, I think Gardner Minshew is going to be the next Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's going to
bounce around. The player that everybody kind of likes. He's going to bounce around. He's going to get the spot starts.
Yeah, you're right.
But, and I actually had this typed in before you even start talking. Oh. I am going with the Lions as well. And I was hoping to gain a game on you.
Well, we both might lose a game here, but I'm going Lions. I have it locked in on the app, on the Pickem, so I'm keeping it.
All right, so we got our next game, the Titans at Colts. The Colts are 1-point favorites as of last night, but from what I heard, it started out as Colts 1-point favorites, got bet to the Titans as 1-point favorites,
and now it's even.
And now it's bet back to the Colts as 1.5-point favorites. So this could be a fun game for fantasy. This could be just a fun game to watch.
I think this is going to be just defenses are going to try to stack the box and try to stop, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and it's not going to work. I think it's going to be a great game for both of these dudes because both teams are want to keep the ball out of the other team's hands.
Yep. So as for injury-wise, Julio, hamstring injury, didn't practice Wednesday, but he's one of those guys, he can go all week without practicing and play.
And still give you 2.5 points.
Naheem Hines was limited with a rib injury. T.Y. Hilton, quad injury, didn't practice Wednesday. And actually, Jonathan Taylor, he was limited Wednesday with a rib injury.
He's fine.
He's most likely fine. Not fine, but he's going to play. But did you see, he did not miss a practice at all while he was in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And even with this rib injury, he's not missed a practice in the NFL yet.
I think at some point, though, the coaching staff, team doctors, and everything they're probably telling this guy, look, dude, you need to worry about the longevity of your career.
Well, even on limited, that could be just he went through walkthroughs and didn't get hit.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it as a grain of salt.
But, yeah, I'd probably start Julio. Well, I'd be iffy on Julio still, but
is A.J. Brown out or what?
A.J. Brown's out there.
But he's playing.
Yeah, he's out. He's playing.
I'm not playing Julio. Not trusting him yet.
I mean, Julio, I think you could potentially.
Deep leagues, maybe.
Deeper, yeah. A.J. Brown, you're starting. I'd be starting Tannehill this week. I'd definitely starting Derrick Henry.
Tannehill's turning into the quarterback that you raved about
earlier in the
preseason and early in the season. Yeah, so he's starting to come around to his old self again. And what's what we like to see.
Yeah, as for the Colts side, Wentz could be a solid start here.
He could, absolutely.
I mean, we've seen both good and bad out of the Titans' defense, more bad than good, but...
Well, recently, they beat the Bills and they beat the Chiefs. So,
yeah.
Those are two high-powered offenses.
And then you're starting Taylor, and has Michael Pittman Jr. kind of moved into the point where
I think
he's a consideration for a start every week?
I think he's the wide receiver one. If he's available, go get him.
I agree. I think he's good. His targets have continuously gone up so far this year.
I tried to get him in redraft, but he's taken by somebody.
I can't wait to see him get better as he gets more teammates around him.
Right. Yeah. Take the pressure off of him.
So, this one seems to be kind of like a true coin flip for all of America. Well, who is your pick on this game?
Look, man, this Colts offense is not the Buffalo Bills, and it's not the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though the Colts they have a pretty solid offense, not going to discredit them for that. But whatever the Tennessee's doing right now, they've given up 20 points to Bills, Chiefs. I'm going Titans in this. In the last 2 weeks, they've given up 20 points total. I'm not going to stray away from them. They're playing tough. They're playing hungry. Ever since that Jets loss, they've really impressed me. So, stick with the Titans, man.
Yeah, I want to pick the Colts. I think they're a good team. But I'm going to ride the hot streak right now and go with the Titans.
And sometimes that's all you got to do. And I don't know, man. We'll see.
All right, so our next game, we got the Bengals at the Jets. The Bengals are currently, as of last night, we're 10.5-point favorites. The only really injury of note here was Chris Evans didn't practice yesterday or today.
Whatever. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not starting him in redraft anyways.
No.
Mixon, I definitely think is a smash play here.
Well,
and if you're in a pinch, Samaje Perine could be good.
I'm playing him in Dynasty in the making.
As for the Jets side, I think Michael Carter actually has a better better outlook with White or Flacco in versus
Zach Wilson.
Zach
Wilson, I think, wants to throw the ball deep and get it down the field.
And he's young enough that even Mike White's young, but
right, but it's more seasoned.
Yeah, I think Michael Carter could be a decent play. Could be an okay play here.
I'm also playing Michael Carter in Dynasty.
Well, you don't have many options there.
No, I don't. I traded all my. I'm rebuilding.
But the Bengals wide receivers kind of scare me this game.
Yeah,
and it's not because the Jets defense is good.
I just think it's gonna be such a blowout that they're gonna call off the dogs early.
You don't have to throw. This could be a game where one of Chase, Higgins, or Uzama could go off.
Or it might be Boyd.
Boyd could have that shot, but I don't know. Or it could be spread around that none of them are viable.
Well, NFL Network said start Higgins. He was the number 2 guy they said to start this week at wide receiver. T. Higgins.
I'd probably go with Chase over Higgins still, but
I think he's a guaranteed start, so I think that's how they do the start him, sit him.
So Ryan, you're picking the Jets, right?
No, I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
I am too. Even though this feels like the game that the Bengals can just let us down.
Right, yeah, one of those trap games. But hey, you know what? I washed my orange Bengals t-shirt, so it should be good to go for Sunday. So yeah.
All right, so our next game.
Wow, another one.
Yeah, another one that there's not going to be a lot to talk about here. The Rams were 14.5-point favorites last night at the Houston Texans.
They probably jumped up to 21.5.
Tyrod Taylor, he did return to practice, but I don't think he's playing this week.
I think he'll play, but at a limited capacity. Maybe.
It's hard to say that with a quarterback. If it was a running back or a wide receiver, yes.
We'll see. Who cares? I have Tyrod Taylor. I'm waiting for him to come back, but we'll see.
And honestly, the only Houston Texan I'm considering starting here, and it's a slight consideration, is Cooks.
Why?
I just think the Rams are too good. Now, I mean, that does mean that the Texans are going to have to throw, but last week, Davis Mills had, approximately 150 yards passing, and that's not going to do it.
Opportunity plus volume equals success.
Where'd you learn that one from?
I don't know.
Because I said it was talent plus opportunity.
No, I said volume, but opportunity means they're going to
that's
throw a lot of
the
time.
opportunity.
Okay, volume.
No,
I'll come up with something.
I'm not saying that he's going to be a lock bad play, but
Look,
I'm probably not starting him if I can avoid
I don't have any other wide receivers in any leagues, so Brandon Cooks, you're up.
And I do just want to kind of highlight.
Just give me 10 points, all right?
The Texans just made a blockbuster trade.
Mark Ingram
To the Saints.
And hey, Sean Payton said he's going to play this weekend. And Brandon Cooks is mad about that trade. For whatever reason, maybe it's something else, but shortly after that was announced, he said, hey, this is BS and
Yep.
What a joke or something regarding that. But we don't know if it has anything to do with the trade or
That's all kind of speculation.
It just the timing of the announcement and the tweet was a little suspect. So
on the other side for the Rams, you're starting your skill players. Actually, and I think the Texans are the worst against the pass for tight ends. So Higbee could have a good game this week.
Cup and Stafford, man, they just have a connection. It's awesome.
And I'd even start Woods over.
Yeah, you're gonna start Woods, Cook, Jared Cook.
I would start Woods over Brandon Cooks this week.
Oh, well, if you have him, I don't have that option, dude.
I'm not just speaking to you.
Okay, everybody, you hear that? My friend is an a-hole.
Thing is,
I'm going with the Rams.
I am going with the Rams as well.
Stop talking to me. Just talk to the microphone.
And I'm the a-hole. Well, so, because Ryan wanted to jump the gun on that, because we moved things around a little bit. Now, our next game, the Patriots and Mac Jones at the Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers were 5-point favorites last night.
I feel like that's super low.
It is, but the Chargers did kind of get shut out
by the Baltimore Ravens, who got beat the crap out of by the Cincinnati Bengals.
And I will say, this could be the game that Keenan Allen goes off for the first time this year.
Well, that'd be great for those Keenan Allen shareholders. Shareholders, can I say that? Shareholders?
That's fine.
Stockholders.
I prefer managers.
Managers.
But, the reason I say that is Mike Williams will likely be shadowed by J.C. Jackson. Jackson's held each player he is shadowed to under 15 fantasy points.
J.C. Jackson smaction.
But Belichick has a history
Devil's advocate. Nothing. Devil's advocate. Yeah, shadowing and shutting down the top wide receiver. We get
not just the top wide receiver, but the top player on each team.
We'll see. I just don't think the Patriots are quite there just yet, offensive-wise. I mean, they went out and took care of a pretty bad Jets team. They've competed in a lot of games, but I just think Herbert
I just kind of want to throw out one guy here. Hunter Henry could be a good play this week. It's a revenge game.
He's got like a couple touchdowns, and Mac Jones seems to like him in the red zone. So,
and like I said, it's a revenge game against his old team.
Yeah.
So Ryan, who is your pick here?
I'm gonna go with the favorite and go with the Chargers here, and I don't think it's gonna be anywhere close to 5. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers as well. I think Herbert's too good of a quarterback to keep this even close.
I just think to be embarrassed like that 2 weeks ago before your bye week.
And actually, before we move on from this, there was notification before we started today. Austin Eckler did not practice today. He was a late addition to the injury report with a hip injury. Mm-hmm. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. These late additions really stink because they sneak up on you. They don't really give you a whole lot of time to make moves. But the good news is you have enough time to make a move. Just barely. But if you would have known about this a week ago, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of weird that it came out on a Thursday evening. So maybe he won't play.
We'll see. Like I said, keep an eye on the injury report. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have somebody that you can move or move to if needed.
I can't remember who I picked for this game. So let me get my picks up.
Well, so our next game, the game he is referencing, is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Seahawks were 3-point favorites last night. DJ Chark, it was confirmed earlier this week that he is out for the year.
Foot injury or something? Something about foot? I think I remember something about
ankle,
foot.
I thought. I think he broke his ankle.
Yeah, close enough. He broke it?
I can't remember what it was for sure.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
This game, it's interesting. Seattle hasn't really been that good on either side of the ball, especially without Russell Wilson. But the Jaguars have allowed the 9th most fantasy points to receivers, so
I think it's going to remain the same way. I think it's going to continue this week against Seattle.
I get what you're saying. And this could be the first game that we actually see Geno Smith throw the ball a bit.
I mean, it was a little rainy out there this past weekend. What was it, Monday night against the Saints. And, man, I don't know if anybody's ever played quarterback or just, goofing around in the backyard with your friends when it's pouring and it's been raining for hours and hours and hours and those footballs get waterlogged. Man, it's tough to control them. It's tough to get a good grip on them and have some accuracy with them. We saw the same thing with the Colts and 49ers on Monday or Sunday night. That weather was bad.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let Geno open it up this week, take advantage of a really bad defense, and get some confidence in this team again.
All right, so who is your pick to win this
I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Even though, I think the Jaguars are getting better, but I don't think they're there yet. But Seahawks, yeah.
I am going with the Seahawks as well. Yes, I like how... I like how Trevor Lawrence has been progressing recently.
Yeah, but he's going up against... Jamal Adams. I'm the best in the nation.
Yeah, but like I said, Trevor Lawrence, he's been progressing. He's been using his legs more, which has definitely been an added benefit for him.
Yeah, I just don't think they're quite there yet. Even with an injured Seahawks team back up.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Trevor Lawrence would be the worst of plays if you absolutely needed him.
Oh yeah, that's true. This Seahawks defense doesn't seem to be great.
And Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault could be playable as well.
Yeah, I like Shenault though.
All right, so we'll move on to our next game. This is another one that I had difficult picking. I had difficult picking this one. We had the Washington football team at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are currently 3-point favorites, and it's starting to look like they're going to have Jerry Jeudy back this week.
Yeah, man. So much confidence in the Broncos to start it off and gave them the benefit of the doubt these last 4 weeks. And I think they screwed the pooch a couple times for me. And my Pickem's
before Ryan makes his pick, let's talk about
the injuries. Matchup. Yep, that's fine.
So Terry McLaurin, he didn't practice yesterday. I haven't seen the report for today. Keep an eye on him. He is another one of those receivers that even if he doesn't practice, he could be one that plays still.
Yeah, we're getting to that time of the season where we're almost at the halfway point. A lot of these players, man, they're gonna have to sit a lot of practices.
Definitely, load management becomes a thing here, especially with the one extra game this year.
Yeah, turning to the 17-game season, it's going to be rough.
Ricky Seals-Jones was limited Wednesday with a quadricep injury. Antonio Gibson, we expect limited with a shin injury. I wanted to bring up Ryan Fitzpatrick. He will have an MRI again in 2 weeks to kind of assess on where he is.
Well, since I roster Fitzpatrick in one league and a Super Flex 2 QB league, I've been keeping an eye on this. They're not expecting him to be back until they originally thought week 9, but I think it's going to be after the week 9 bye.
Well, if he's going to have an MRI in 2 weeks.
Yeah, week 10.
It's going to be week 10 at the earliest.
They're thinking he'll be back week 10, hopefully. Blah.
I mean, here, Gibson, you're probably starting him based off of where you drafted him and who you have.
Yeah, I think you have to. You kind of just have to roll the and hope for the better days.
I'd be willing to start Ricky Seals-Jones and Terry McLaurin, but that's about it from the Washington football team right now.
Yeah.
As for the Broncos, I'm starting Sutton. I'm starting Jeudy if Judy's back, and if he's back, I'm definitely not starting Tim Patrick.
No. I think the only 2 receivers you're going to start this week for the Broncos are Sutton and Jeudy if Jeudy does play.
And then, of course, Noah Fant's out there for the Broncos as well.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to start him too.
I think he's almost at the top of the top 10 tight ends, and you can get that.
He's up there. I think he's higher than top 10. He's actually had a few weeks where he's been very solid. Washington football team, they have allowed the second most points to receivers, so I think Sutton and Jeudy are smash plays this week.
I'll go with you on that one.
So, who are you picking for this one?
The darn Broncos, man. I hope Heineke plays well and gets whatever scuttlebutt he had last week, giving himself up inches before the goal line when nobody was around him. Just run into the dang end zone, you doofus. Sorry, everybody, but
there was a Packer DB within like
5 yards,
a yard and a half away.
I don't know about just run the ball in. It's football.
Agree.
You got to expect to get hit. All right, it's a contact game. Anyway, I hope Heineke plays well just because I have no other options at QB for the Superflex League. But, man, I think the Broncos finally get out of their losing streak of 4 in a row and defend their home turf up at Mile High.
I am choosing the Broncos to win this one as well. All right, so our next game, the Buccaneers are 5.5 point favorites at the Saints. This is one, though, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I could see the Saints coming out and winning this game. It doesn't follow your method.
No, it does not.
But when
this is their second home game of the season, too.
Yeah, so. That, and when the Buccaneers visit New Orleans,
they struggle.
This crowd goes nuts.
Yeah.
O.J. Howard, he was limited Wednesday. Gronk was limited Wednesday, which is actually an upgrade for him. He could play this week. Antonio Brown, No timetable for his return. They're not sure.
That stinks, man.
He actually was out at practice yesterday on a crutch.
That's not good. Who's Harris?
Deontay Harris, the wide receiver for the Saints. Hamstring injury, didn't practice yesterday. And then Will Lutz, the Saints kicker. You got ghosts.
We got ghost over here. My wife is printing something, so I apologize if you can hear it. Yeah.
Will Lutz announced yesterday that he's going to be out for this whole year. He had a setback with his core muscle surgery, and
that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, because he was one of the best kickers in the league. Mm-hmm. And then wanted to bring this one. They did just trade for Mark Ingram. It maybe slightly hurts Kamara's value, but I think it helps him in the long run because he's going to be there to keep him healthy.
Yeah, he'll get more breaks and he'll keep his explosiveness, being able to catch his breath here and there. I mean,
Kamara wasn't going to last the year playing the way he has lost 2 games.
No, and I mean, even before, even with Mark Ingram there in 2018, was it?
These guys were thunder and lightning. These guys were.
Yeah, his value's still there. His value's just going to stay. It's going to drop, but it's not significant enough that you have to go and trade him.
Yep, and then so I wanted to bring up Mike Evans. He's likely to be shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, and
Marshawn Lattimore has had Mike Evans' number throughout his career.
I want to just bring this up. DK Metcalf against Lattimore on Monday night. He gave up 1 catch.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, 2, whatever. But that 1 catch for 84 yards and a touchdown. And you could even argue that there was some hand fighting going on there. Yeah. And that if the flag would have been thrown for offensive PI, you couldn't really be too mad about it. Yeah. But anyway, the best thing DK Metcalf did all night was draw 2 personal fouls against Marshawn Lattimore. So, yeah, dude, he's shutting them out. He's shutting people down.
Not only that, throughout their careers, Lattimore has shut Evans down except for, 1 game. They played 8 games against each other.
Okay.
Let's see. There's been 279 routes ran by Evans.
Okay.
48 targets.
That's it?
That's it.
He's caught 6 targets a game.
He's caught 43 of those targets.
6 times 8 is 48.
But, yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm saying that's a low number of targets for
especially
that
for
many routes.
Who was in Tampa before last year.
He's had 370 receiving yards and 3 TDs. I think there's only been 1 game where he's actually had Lattimore's number.
Well,
I think one of those
finds a nuts every once in a while.
Finds a nuts.
Finds a nut every once in a while.
I think one of those games was a one reception for 1 yard and a touchdown.
Yeah, I love those games.
Not those games, but the two receptions, 2 yards. 2 receptions, 2 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Those ones you did.
Yeah, those aren't bad. Those
but
18 points.
Godwin, this opens up potentially a huge game for him, and even Gronk if he plays. And then you're starting Fournette. He could have a tougher game against the Saints, though.
Yeah, that's true too.
And Kamara, luckily he's more of a receiving back because this is a tough defense to run on.
Play your studs.
Oh, I'm not saying you bench him, but I'm just saying maybe lower expectations a bit. All right, and so Ryan, who is your pick for this game?
Though I share the same sentiment with you, it is an even-numbered week, as in Week 8. Therefore, the Saints will lose if they follow my program. Well, they set the program up themselves. But
if you follow your theory.
Yeah, if my hypothesis is correct, the Saints will lose this week. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I hope it's high scoring. Those are always fun to watch. But I think the Bucs pull this one out this time. Even though the Saints have had their number in New Orleans, as much as I want the Saints to win, as much as I like the Saints, I think the Bucs have got this.
I agree. I am picking the Buccaneers as well. All right.
Well.
So our next game, we had the Cowboys, who are 1.5 point favorites at the Vikings. Dak Prescott, he was limited yesterday with a calf injury. Gallup, he returned to practice yesterday from his calf injury. And I wanted to put a note in here. Justin Jefferson will likely be shadowed by Diggs for most of this game.
That's unfortunate for Jefferson.
I'm not saying that he's going to be shut down because he's kind of that big play guy that he's going to give up some big plays, but he's also going to have some big plays himself.
Let's see if he can keep his interception streak going.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be insane if he had an interception for all 17 games?
Can you believe I actually heard it today? Amari Cooper has never finished in the top 10 at receiver on the year.
I believe it.
He's always been close. He just can't get over that hump.
It makes sense. I mean, he's always had some really bad games and some really good games. So,
but yeah, so you're starting the usual suspects here.
Prescott, Elliott, Lamb, Cooper,
Schultz.
Yeah, he's worked his way up there.
And then the Vikings, Actually, I mean, if you're kind of hesitant on starting Rodgers this week, even though crazy story stat about that, whenever Devontae's at him, yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
What are you talking about? He's playing tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
If you're hesitant to start him, Kirk Cousins could be a good alternate. But actually, Rodgers has had better games, fantasy-wise,
on Thursday Night Football
when Devontae Adams has been out.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
but yeah, you're starting. You could start Cousins, definitely. I wouldn't even bat an eye on that. Jefferson, Thielen, and Cook.
Yeah. Yeah, Conklin hasn't quite made it up there yet in the tight end realm.
All right, so Ryan, who is your pick for this game?
Look, I've trusted the Vikings before, and I'm not going to let them screw me again. This Cowboys offense, I think, is number one in yards per game and points per game. If they're clicking, they're clicking, and I want a big day from CD, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
I'm going to go with Dallas as well.
Because you like to talk about the injury report and all that stuff. I like to talk about why I'm picking my team. That's what I bring to the show.
Well, I don't...
Listen to me.
IMCX
bet.
This is more of a fantasy matchup than picking the right team.
Well, I just want to pick two right teams, yeah?
So our last game, the Monday night game, we had the Giants at Chiefs. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. Ryan, are you sticking with your locked-in Chiefs upset?
Not this week. Cotton.
You were saying on Monday that they were locked in upset.
Look, I would not be surprised if anymore.
I understand what you're saying.
Sports in general, man, they play the game for a reason. There's some crazy stuff going on. The Chiefs are good for football. All right, this Andy Reid team, Patrick Mahomes, just like the Bucks and Brady, and like the same with Drew Brees, and now Dak Prescott and all those guys. Aaron Rodgers. The Chiefs are great for NFL professional football. I hope they can bounce back. I hope they can get the ship righted and on the right path again. But I really think playing in Arrowhead Monday night, Andy Reid's gonna do something and figure it out and get these guys back on the right track. I think Patrick Mahomes is definitely gonna bounce back. Giants have a really awful defense, even though they played really well against the Panthers. But.
So we'll start talking about some injury report stuff for this.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, you're fine. I kind of jumped the gun on the pick on here.
Trade rumors. I see the note.
Yep.
Tell us more.
Well, we'll start out with injury report stuff.
Oh, Evan Ingram did not. In a bottle.
Evan Ingram did not practice on Wednesday
because he's demanding a trade.
No, he's not demanding a trade.
Oh, dang it.
He's just been the subject of trade rumors.
He might be a guy that could be good elsewhere.
And that's something we said earlier in the year. He might just be like tight end that benefits from a change of scenery.
Yeah.
Or he could be that Eric Ebron type that he can benefit, but he also
doesn't.
Well, does and doesn't at the same time. But actually, I do kind of want to point out he could be a good play this week.
But there's nobody else.
The Chiefs have given up the 5th most fantasy points to tight ends. 19. So this could be a tight end battle here.
Yeah, number 1.
Shepard, Barkley, Tony, and Galladay, they all went through stretches on Wednesday. But from what I heard, they're still on the worst side of the 50-50 to play this weekend.
If you ask Magic 8 Ball, they're probably going to say no. They will not play.
Actually, it'll probably say outlook is bleak or something like that.
Signs point to, I don't know.
But, I mean, I'd be willing to start.
Ask again later.
I mean, you're starting Booker on here.
Yeah.
And Evan Ingram. But other than that, Daniel Jones could be a decent play. He hasn't been turning the ball over.
I think they have to throw a lot.
Yep. And then as for the Chiefs, you're starting Mahomes, you're starting Kelsey, you're starting Williams, and you're starting Hill. Anybody else you're wanting to add on that?
Harrison Butker.
Well, we don't really talk about kickers too much.
Kickers are the best.
All right, and so I am picking the Chiefs as well as Ryan on here.
Thanks, man. I think we only have one pick that's different.
Yeah, I think so too. So, real quick.
Yeah, 49ers, Bears. The Bears.
Let's look up the Monday night game for next week. We'll review that one. Or no, never mind. We're good.
When you mean Thursday night?
We don't have to because we got Monday podcast. I was done off. So, real quick, we're kind of going to do this at the end.
What? Okay. I like games. I like Monday.
All right. So, we'll start with this. Most targets without a drop is tight ends. If you had to pick the wide receiver or tight end who's had the most targets without a drop this year, who would you pick?
T.J. Hawkinson.
Wrong.
I feel like Travis Kelce's too obvious. Is it Travis Kelce?
It is Travis Kelce.
It's too obvious. That's not fair. There's my wedding ring. I wear a rubber one. Sorry, guys. Travis Kelce. I told you it was him.
Yep. So, he has had 64 targets without a drop.
Yeah, and?
Kyle Pitts, 43.
Wow. Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, but Kyle Pitts is better.
All right.
It's just not as
And
distinguished
the
yet.
last one. Only one player has been a tight end one in multiple games this season. Who is it?
What do you mean tight end one? Like finish the week fantasy football wise?
Finish the week fantasy football wise as a tight end.
More than once. Mike Gesicki.
Nope.
Kyle Pitts.
Nope.
Travis Kelce again?
Nope.
Wait, what? I don't understand the question. They finished tight end one.
In multiple games this year. Multiple weeks.
I already went to the big ones. Could it be George Kittle before he got hurt? Darren Waller? Schultz?
Nope.
Say Kelsey. Not Tunyon by any shot.
He's in the AFC North.
Njoku? Oh, Zuma! Oh, what a doofus. Man, come on.
All right, so
That's an impossible one.
that's why it's trivia.
Oh.
And it's not impossible. It's just a hard one. So we'll go ahead and kind of wrap this up. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe and like on YouTube.
Do it or I'll hunt you down. I won't, but my therapist said that some people respond very well to threats. I don't see a therapist. Not yet.
But yeah, please like us on Instagram. Check out check us out live like a couple other people have. We try to answer questions on
Yes, we do our best
our show.
to answer.
We do plan on being live again on Saturday. Not sure what time yet, but
Well, yeah, I got yard work to do, so
we do plan on doing Dynasty Saturday, where instead of going over prospects this week, we're actually going to do buy sells. So 3 players each that we're going to buy, that we look to buy. 3 players we're looking to sell, we'd look to sell.
yes.
And then actually, so we're going to get Dynasty Saturday out of the way early next month in November. So we're going to have back-to-back weeks of Dynasty Saturday.
Yeah, sorry guys. We just with how the UFC fights goes and holidays and all that other stuff coming up, that's just how we're gonna have to roll with it.
So if you kind of want an idea on how when we do Dynasty Saturdays, it's going to be on the nights where there's UFC, the big numbered UFC fights
with the main, title fight or something.
But that's all we've got for you guys this week or
Enjoy
tonight.
Thursday night football.
Enjoy Thursday night football. Enjoy Sunday football, Monday,
Saturday,
any day that you get to watch football, just enjoy it.
Friday night college football.
If only we
Friday
had
night
action
football.
back.
Yeah, I miss some action, man. That was awesome. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. time.
We'll see you Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.